Hi everybody, welcome back and welcome if you're new. Today I'm going to be reacting to Ben Shapiro's Everyone in Hollywood Knew About Diddy's White Parties. As this is different from what I usually do, but I've been knowing about these things for like a long time, and since like Epstein and everything, it seems like more people are finding out, which is a good thing. But it seems like nobody ever really does anything about it. But anyway, I just want to see what Ben Shapiro has to say about it.
Is pretty astonishing because here is this Sean Puffy Diddy P Diddy Combs scandal is pretty astonishing because here is my theory.
First of all, Puff Daddy is like the stupidest name ever. I always thought that it was. And P Diddy makes no sense too. So I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but
everyone in Hollywood knew about all of it. This is my going theory. Everyone in Hollywood knew about all of it. And not only did they know about all of it, they all participated in it. I don't know what else to take away.
That's not even a theory. That's like facts. Like, his computer says facts. That's just true. Everybody knows about it. Everybody participates in it. But I'm going to show you guys another clip of Alex Jones because he knows about a lot of things. And everybody always thought that he was crazy. He's a conspiracy theorist. But he knew about all of this and nobody listened to him. And he went to the Bohemian Grove, which is, if you don't know what that is, you should look it up. But it's like another initiation ceremony that they do horrible things there too. But yeah, he went and he recorded it.
Midsummer sets us free. You shall burn me once again. Not with these flames.
And I'm surprised that he's not in jail or worse. But I mean, they've tried hard to get him to go to jail, but they weren't able to, thankfully. But let's just keep watching this.
About all of it. And not only did they know about all of it, they all participated in it. I don't know what else to take away from many of the pictures of these so-called white parties. According to the UK Daily Mail, new video has surfaced of Sean Diddy Combs telling guests at one of his legendary white parties in the Hamptons it was time for the kids to go home and the real partying to begin. In footage obtained exclusively by the Daily Mail, Diddy, 54, stands champagne glass in hand like a dictator on his balcony. He says, "We fed you all, we gave you drinks, now it's time to enjoy life. This is a celebration of life. This is the real white party. Kids have an hour left, then this thing turns into something that when you get older, this is something y'all gonna wanna come to. So let's just start to get our groove on, put the kids away, it's all good. All right, DJ, let's hit it. Let's do it."
Well, at least he was saying to make the kids go home, but from what I've heard, poor Justin Bieber was one of the people, and Usher, when he was 13, he went to live with him for I don't even know how long. So yeah, that just tells you what you need to know there. Which is horrible.
And the pictures of the people who showed up to this thing are just amazing. I mean, he was dating at one point Jennifer Lopez from like 99 to 2001. But
obviously she's part of it. Like anybody that you see that is really big, like a really big name, they're definitely part of that club. If you want to be famous or rich, but like in another level, then you have to go to those things. If you want to be like mainstream artist, then you're gonna be going to those things. And that's why like all the celebrities I know, like that they're not good people because either they participate in those things or they don't say anything. I understand that they can't say anything though because either they'll be killed or their family probably or everybody, but anyway.
One picture alone at one white party was Kimora Simmons, Russell Simmons, Damon Dash, Aaliyah, Diddy, Jennifer Lopez, Lisa Zane, Billy Zane, Victor Matthews, Matthew Broderick, Sarah Jessica Parker, Andre Harrell, and Veronica Webb.
I don't even know any of those people, except like 3.
That was the year 2000. There are pictures of Leonardo DiCaprio at one of Diddy's parties. There are pictures of pretty much everybody. Images obtained exclusively by DailyMail.com show a glittering guest list, a who's who of movie and music industry fame, all of whom have remained
First of all, what is wrong with his eyebrows?
conspicuously silent since the music mogul's arrest in New York earlier this week. In pictures shot At Diddy's penultimate party in 2008, scantily clad, half-naked girls cavort in the swimming pool. A tangle of limbs, they pour champagne into the open mouth of a male guest. These are, for sure, prostitutes. Okay, that is what is happening there. And, of course, not a shock, many of the female guests, according to the Daily Mail, did virtually nothing to hide their modesty. Again, not a shock at all. Photos of the gatherings are like a time capsule of the late 90s. Howard Stern, Kelly Osbourne, Aretha Franklin, Leonardo DiCaprio, Martha Stewart, Jay-Z and Beyonce, Mariah Carey and husband Nick Cannon, Tommy Lee and Pamela Anderson, a young Kim Kardashian. I mean, pretty amazing stuff. And apparently everybody knew about this. Like, there were levels of tears. According to former music industry insider Tom Swoop, who has recounted his own memories of surviving at Diddy's white parties on his YouTube channel, the parties were separated into tiers of access. There was general admission, then a series of tiers ending with entrance to the inner sanctum where the real partying went on. This allegedly included sexually humiliating male and female guests on the promise of record deals or money. Swoop and others have spoken about the drugs that were present, ecstasy, cocaine, being snorted off the bodies of the so-called guests. Of course. Speaking to Oprah in 2006, Diddy said that the entire idea of the white party was to, quote, strip away everyone's image and put us all in the same color and on the same level. Apparently, Swoop alleges that Diddy told one young artist to perform a sex act on his bodyguard in return for $100,000 and a record deal, before claiming it was a joke when the young man was on the cusp of submitting. Which, by the way, shows you how things have worked in Hollywood for literally ever. That people use the impression of power and access in order to get people to do truly awful things with one another. Mm-hmm. And celebrities fall right into it. Because when you're a celebrity, they let you do what they want, as a famous man once said. This, by the way, presumably included then minors. Here is Khloe Kardashian, back in the day, suggesting that Justin Bieber was naked at parties.
So who was with you this weekend?
A bunch of my friends.
Diddy, Quincy, Justin Bieber,
So far, so
French
good.
Montana.
I got on a plane at 5:30 a.m. Go to this party. I think half the people there were butt naked. You would have loved it.
Have you met Chloe's new, crew of friends?
No. Well, kind of.
You did?
Yeah. Stop talking.
Have you met Chloe's new crew of friends?
And all I said was yes. And then I stopped. All I said was yes.
Yeah, that is a scene from 2014.
What?
And Justin Bieber would have been 20 at the time. So, sounds amazing.
I don't care what they do to each other. Like, celebrities, if you're older than 21, like, it's fine. Like, do whatever you want. I don't care. Even be nasty, be crazy and weird. But if it's, when it comes to minors, when it comes to kids, that's just horrific. And I can't even think about those things.
Diddy getting very awkward with Justin Bieber. That, of course, not a shock, because he was preying on young men, was Diddy. So here's a very awkward clip of a very young Justin Bieber.
Gosh, I feel so bad for him too. Like, I mean, I already knew that happened to him because of how famous he got, but and it's not just one person. Like, everybody just focuses on one person. It's not just him. It's not just Diddy. It's not just Epstein. It's what about all these other people that are part of it? What about all the other celebrities? What about, yeah, he hosted the parties, but what about everybody else? Like, why aren't they held accountable too? They just let everybody else get away with it. Yeah, I guess it's not illegal, but if there were minors there, which there's a lot of witnesses, right? There's pictures, and if Justin Bieber was there when he was young, isn't that automatically that these are all the witnesses? Like, what? Like, it just doesn't make sense.
He's clearly a teenager in this video. How old is Bieber in this video? Looks like maybe 15, 16 at most. Yeah, I think he's 15 here. And Diddy recaps Justin's 48 hours with Diddy. And Justin Bieber just kind of looks dead behind the eyes here, truly.
Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like, you know, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream.
This is where he kind of got it wrong. He hadn't spent 48 hours with him. And this is Justin Bieber's own video when he was 15. And he was like so excited to go to his stupid house. Like,
You know, I have been given custody of him. You know, he signed to Usher.
I'm signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when you know he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't really.
can you believe, how could you even say that? Like, how he had legal custody of Usher when he was 13. How could your parents allow you to do that, number one? And there's a clip of Usher talking about it, and he looks very, like, uncomfortable, like, remembering that. And I'll show it here.
I moved to New York City, and I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp.
Yeah,
Flavor
that's
Camp.
what it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
In the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
No, not really. I mean, but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it. And it was but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild. It was,
So nobody
it was crazy.
tried to, you know, some woman didn't come along.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say that. What I did say is that there were very curious things taking place, and I didn't necessarily understand it.
14 years old. You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy Camp?
Hell no.
See?
It's just horrible. And he hadn't spent the time with him yet. This is like when he just got to his house.
Really, I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So, and we gonna go full, buck full crazy.
Going crazy.
Oh my God, I don't even want to see this.
Okay, Justin Bieber looks awful here, as probably he was abused. I mean, honestly, like, it would be hard to imagine Justin Bieber was not abused by Diddy, given the quality of these tapes. Here's a video that people are suggesting shows Diddy checking Bieber for a wire upon seeing him for the first time in a while. He's like patting him down awkwardly here, for those who can't see. Like touching his chest. Like, it's super weird. Like tapping him all over to make sure that he's...
I don't know if he's checking for a wire, but that's weird. And he puts his head down. For him, man.
He's not wearing a wire. I know that when I see friends, I do not actually like pat them down. It's a very weird thing that's happening right there. And here is video of Diddy calling out Bieber for not calling him or hanging out. And again, Justin Bieber looking like he wants to die.
Starting to act different, huh?
No,
You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you haven't. I mean, you try to get in contact with me, you know, through all my, partners and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But you never really got my number, so.
Right. Okay.
My number?
Yeah.
See how he like stutters and everything. How could I don't know. Why don't just somebody just shoot him in the head? There, that's it.
Sorry.
Okay, you don't have my number. I mean, No.
But then he goes on to give him a fake number. He says 555-555, which is funny. He's practically saying, I'm not going to contact you, you know? Poor him, man. He was like, oh my God. How could you even be normal after that? I mean, you have to be so strong. And I'm like 100% sure it wasn't just him. It wasn't just Diddy, and it's not just Justin Bieber, and it's like all these young celebrities that, like, every time I see a young actor or singer, I'm like, that I don't know how they avoid it. I don't know if they can avoid it. But one for sure that I know hasn't done any of those things is Post Malone, because Justin Bieber was the one that helped him, and obviously he's not like that. Although a lot of the time, the abused become the abusers. They end up doing the same thing to other people, but he didn't do that. So, and you can tell.
Not good at all. Apparently, a source told People magazine Justin is aware of Diddy's arrest and all the allegations. It's not anything he wants to focus on, though. He has been in a happy bubble since his baby was born. He just wants to focus on being a great dad.
Oh, I didn't even know he had a baby.
And a great husband. Now, again, the number of people who are in Diddy's orbit, enormous. And I don't know how many times we have to see this scandal over and over and over before you realize that this is just the way things go in Hollywood. This sort of debauchery is normalized in Hollywood. It's treated as perfectly normal. And then every so often, somebody is caught in a criminal sting like this and ends up in the headlines. And it turns out everybody knew the whole time. Which speaks to what is going... This has been true since like the 1920s in Fatty Arbuckle. You put a bunch of hormonal, good-looking people in the same area, there will be some people who are incredibly abusive. But free people of their morality and give them insane levels of power and wealth, and it turns out they do awful things with those things. The story here, once again, as it was with Jeffrey Epstein, the story about Jeffrey Epstein wasn't really about Jeffrey Epstein. It was about who's in the little black book. Okay, the story about Diddy here is not just about Diddy being abusive and awful. The story is who knew when and what did they do about it. I mean, I don't know how many of you, I don't know when it became de rigueur for powerful people in our society to simply go to random drug and sex parties. As though this is the late Roman Empire. But that's effectively what we have here. And again, it's not restricted to Hollywood. We now know that the head of like the New York City Health Commission was going to sex and drug parties in the middle of the pandemic in violation of COVID protocols.
Thank you. I'm happy that he knows. I feel like people don't know that it's not just celebrities. It's people in the government, people in the White House, you know, except it's harder to get their files or whatever, but even though some people do, because they're more protected. But, I mean, I'm happy that more people know about this now.
That he himself had written. This is what happens when you have a privileged class, and it is. Okay, when it comes to Hollywood, I'm not saying people in Hollywood don't work hard. I am saying that when it comes to who is recognized for artistic merit, there's a lot more luck to that than there is to, say, other business areas in the United States. If you want to become rich by selling widgets, you actually have to make a good widget. If you want to become very rich by making music, you don't necessarily have to make good music. A lot of it's marketing. A lot of it is luck. Whatever the situation.
Or going to those parties.
A huge number of these people have been completely... Fame disconnects them from reality. Fame eats them alive. Notoriety, the fact that people look at them in a different way, changes their own view of themselves and makes them feel justified in using other people. I used to live in Hollywood. I know enough actors. I know enough executives. I've never been to any one of these parties, nor would I ever go to any one of these parties. But do I find any of this sort of news particularly shocking? Why would I? What is the actual church-going rate at the white parties for Diddy? What do you think is the...
I don't think going to church has anything to do with it, but...
I gave to my local community church rate.
Okay, that doesn't matter either. What matters is if you believe in God, or... A lot of people say they believe in God, but if you actually do, I don't think you would be doing those things.
At these parties. How many of these people are solid family members? And how many of them started off that way and then were sucked into a life of depravity by the amount of fame and hedonism that is possible? Human beings have an inherent drive toward sin. Human beings have an inherent drive toward pleasure.
I don't know. I don't think anybody normal would do those things.
And when given enormous amounts of power and zero accountability, they'll either use it in all the worst ways or participate in it and look the other way while others do. We shouldn't be shocked by this. We should just understand that the values promulgated by these folks, not to get political, but I guarantee you that the voting record of these white parties would be about 95% for Kamala Harris. That's all I will say here. Because it turns out that politics is downstream of values. And a value system...
Okay, I don't care about that much, but... I mean, Trump was... He said that Diddy was his friend and that he was a good person. So... Let me just show you guys that clip, actually. And, you know... Look at her face. Okay, look. I mean, I'm probably gonna vote for him because there's really no other option. Because Kamala Harris is attached to Biden. You know, that was his vice president. And the way I knew Obama was bad was because Biden was his vice president. And Biden is definitely a PEDO. So, and I know that because in the video, he has a video that, I'll put it like in the description, that he's like in a press conference with a bunch of cameras everywhere in front of everybody. He takes the kids like for the pictures. He like touches them all weird and smells them, and they look so uncomfortable, and that's in front of everybody. Imagine what he does when nobody's looking. So anyway, that's him. What about Trump? Look, here he is in a picture with him. I guess it doesn't really mean that much, but still, this is what he said about him before.
What do Donald Trump and Diddy have in common? Well, arguably quite a few things, but singer/reality star Aubrey O'Day is one of them. Once mentored by Combs, O'Day later appeared on the 5th season of The Celebrity Apprentice.
I am a very strict and focused businesswoman because working for Diddy for 6 years trained me to have to be perfect.
Working for Diddy?
Absolutely.
I love Diddy.
When O'Day brought up her association with Diddy, Trump was quick to shower him with praise. O'Day tiptoed around her former boss, unwilling to say if he was a, quote, good guy, as Trump described him.
I don't want to answer that
Oh,
question.
wow. I think he's a good guy. I'm going to stick up for him.
Why would you say that? I don't know. But if, like, he says everybody's a good guy, but you guys do what you want with that one. But here's this is the video, the original video with Justin Bieber. And he posted it himself. This is his channel. Justin Bieber's 48 Hours with Diddy, and he was like so excited about it. It's 14 years ago.
So check this out, yo. Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like, you know, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. You know, I have been given custody of him. You know, he signed to Usher.
Signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when you know he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So
yeah, so he wasn't with him for 48 hours yet. He was about to be. So here, like, he's so little, like, oh my god.
And we gonna go full crazy.
Going crazy.
Crazy.
I'm taking this out tonight.
What you wanna do? What you wanna do over the next 48 hours?
48 hours. Let's go. Let's just go get some girls. Let's go hang out with some girls.
A man after my heart. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, that was very depressing stuff. And I just want to show you this last clip of Alex Jones.
In order to become a world leader, you have to go to the islands. In order to become a celebrity, you have to go to the Diddy party. This is the way their system works. It's a rite of initiation.
Absolutely, that's what I've explained.
But I feel like some people don't even know. Like, when you're young, they just put you in those things, and it's horrible. And then they just get caught up in all those horrible things, and then he's gonna explain right now. I'll just let him talk.
It's like different mafias. You have to kill somebody so they have dirt on you. They know they're going to be videotaped doing illegal things so they can get in the gang. It is the initiation ceremony.
You know, there once was a guy who actually infiltrated a certain initiation place called the Bohemian Grove.
Yeah. Okay, so the point is, old-fashioned time with the Republicans, that was the way to compromise them. Like, well, hey, you want to join this particular Republican club, you know, you got to do this. And Ronald Reagan and Nixon refused. That's well known. But
Apparently, they were the only ones that refused. That's the Bohemian Grove.
But that's because that's how you get Republicans. Hey, we'll tell your constituents you're sucking, you know what? But for the Democrats and some Republicans like Hastert, it's like, hey, did you know that girl at that party? She was 16. Next, it's go in there with that 12-year-old girl, or you're not in the club. And the next, it's like, you know, that 8-year-old, go in there and strangle her. We're gonna kill you. And let me tell you, they're not just raping kids. At Epstein Island and stuff, and I talked about it 15 years ago. It was first talk about it. They're killing kids, ladies and gentlemen. So they're only talking about 50.
It's just horrible, like horrible things, and like I hate even thinking about any of these things, but I feel like I'm just gonna let him finish.
15-year-old girls, they kill them.
I don't know if it's worse to kill them or to torture them for I don't even know how long. Like,
so can I just ask you to assess my last question to you, Alex Jones? Who is Kamala Harris and how'd she get here?
That's a great question. Well, Kamala Harris got the same amount of votes in the primaries as Ronald McDonald, which is 0. Kamala Harris is a soulless, truly empty flesh bag who was admittedly a sex operative, just like Oprah Winfrey admitted that she was an underage sex slave. I mean, look it up, it's all true.
And you can find Oprah giving the girls to Weinstein.
Yeah,
you
but
can see the pictures.
And Oprah's admitted, and she's a victim of it. A lot of the victims of it become the victimizers. She said that she was an underage prostitute. I think it was in Chicago. But to answer the question, it's clear that Kamala Harris.
How could you do that to somebody else when you know how horrible that would be? When you've gone through that horrible trauma, how could you do that to somebody else? I just don't understand.
Was a political sex operative. Willie Brown's talked about it, all of it. And then she was so soulless and would put innocent people in prison, know they were innocent on death row, do home invasions looking for legal guns, saying she'd do it. Then when she was the attorney general, she would put pro-lifers that exposed the illegal killing of babies right at 9 months when they were already born and the selling of their organs, including still beating baby hearts. She would put the journalists in jail for many years. That's her famous cases. So the system has seen her, has passed her around. They know she's super stupid, and they can bring her in like Biden and then blame everything that bad happens on her. And so she is the greatest example of a mindless puppet that they want to put in to further demoralize us to think that that's America, to make America a further joke around the world. So that's who Kamala Harris is, a clear and present danger and a meat puppet. Look, if we had a free and fair election, it'd be like Reagan in '86. Trump would get 49 states. But because of the mass fraud in states, once Democrats get control of your voting system, since the 90s, it's very hard to turn it back. I know Pennsylvania's tried to tighten up some things, and Texas has taken millions of dead people and illegals off the voting rolls, and so is Nevada's taking hundreds of thousands off. So look, the evidence, it's a long story, but Trump won in a landslide in 2016, barely won. People thought he was invincible and he's going to win no problem in 2000, so he barely won, so they were able to steal it. He's going to have a bigger landslide in 42 days than he did in 2016. That's why they've tried to kill him twice now, and probably more times we're being told we don't know about.
If he was losing, the assassination attempts would be unnecessary.
Absolutely.
That's why the assassination attempts are happening. That's why there's 5 kill teams.
So what, and I'll let you take us out on this on a note of hope, what you said, you gave advice for what children should be doing. What should the people in this room be doing? What should be their attitude, not just for the next 42 days, but for the next year? And what can people do?
Okay, well, I never claim to be some saint or, tell people how to live their lives. I'm definitely not perfect. But I'll tell you what I've been doing since I was at least 18 years old. And I became a Christian before that, but it was like I'm a Christian, but I really wasn't truly born again. You got to get on your knees in the morning before, or in the middle of the night, or whenever you wake up. You got to get on your knees. You got to and tell God, I can't do this. I need you to come into me and take control. and lead, guide, and direct me and tell me what to do. And you've got to change your values to where you don't care what the world says or what the system says. You care to do what the conscience that God gave you, that guardian angel that you know is right there looking over your shoulder, tells you to do. And you've got to not be a coward, and you've got to be strong. And the minute you step across that point, you don't even have courage anymore. You're on a mission, and you're not possessed by the Holy Spirit, but you let it in, and it's now driving and in control, and now you got God behind you, and nobody can stand against us if God's with us.
Well, that is a hopeful note, and I think that's true.
But that was a good speech from Alex Jones. Sometimes, though, I feel like, how could God allow these things to happen? And like these horrible things that happen, and like the kids in the island, and like, and what happened to the island? Nothing. Like, they're probably still going over there, and nobody knows. Nobody can do anything because we're just like regular people, and like it's just horrible. And there's this huge operations of trafficking kids, and maybe there should be a revolution completely that changes everything, because I don't think that they can do things legally. Like, the ones that control everything, they control everything. So it's almost impossible. Unless we, like, literally do, like, in The Purge, I think it's, like, the second movie or the first movie, I forgot. But when they go kill the people that started the Purge in the first place. I just hope that things can change soon. And at least they're getting some people. Anyway, sometimes we gotta hear these things if you don't know about it. And what can we do? I mean, I don't know. I wish there was something I could do. But thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Let me know what you thought. Did you know about it? Did you not know about it? And thank you so much, everybody, for watching. I hope you guys have a great day or night. And I hope to see you guys next time.